Alex O'Connor, the agnostic formerly known as Cosmic Skeptic, has lots of discussions and debates with Christians. And while he seems quite comfortable criticizing Christianity, he doesn't seem nearly as interested in criticizing Islam. Why is that? Well, someone asked him about this during the Q&A of his recent debate with the Connectleys, who, not surprisingly, are Christians. I hadn't seen the debate, but a few nights ago, when AP and I were live, one of our viewers requested that we comment on Alex's response. So we did. But some people weren't happy with our brilliant and completely correct comments, and they messaged me, whining like babies, leading to this video. So let's watch Alex answer the question that was posed to him. Then we'll see how AP and I reacted. And finally, I'll share some follow-up thoughts and assess whether Alex O'Connor is a coward for not blasting away at Islam with the rest of us. Here's the original question and Alex's answer.
Okay, we're gonna move fast. Base Artist, thanks very much. Says Alex, I'm a longtime fan. I became a Christian, but I still love your work and your honesty. I'm curious, though, why it seems you've left Islam alone. Is this for personal reasons or safety? Much love and God bless.
Yeah, well, of course, it is a much less safe thing to do. That's one of the benefits of Christianity, by the way. But I do think that I simply know less about it. Of course, I don't believe Islam is true, and I believe it has all kinds of problems and moral objections that I'm sure that if I made my moral objections to Islam plain, Cliff and Stuart would not want to object to my meta ethics, but instead just be happy that I was doing it. But I just know less about it. I feel like I'm pretty well versed in at least the New Testament at this point, and it's mostly a consequence of that. But of course, you do have to be much more careful as well, because I've never had to fear for my safety when debating a Christian like today.
Pretty straightforward. He knows more about Christianity. He sounds like he knows more about Christianity because he's more interested in discussing Christianity. And since it's safer to talk about Christianity, why would he want to focus much on Islam? But Based Autistic, the same guy who asked Alex the question, asked us what we think about his response. Here's what we said. I asked Alex O'Connor, Cosmic Skeptic, about why he doesn't go after Islam. First question in Q&A during most recent debate. I think that's the one he had with Cliff Connectley. Think I'm going through that with on Cameron's channel on Monday. Haven't seen it yet, but so he said he asked the question. He said he prefers Christianity chats, but also admitted partly it's for safety reasons. Curious, what are your thoughts?
Well, I know already that that is the case because I was in touch with him personally when he made a video about Islam. I don't remember what the video was about, but he made a video about Islam, about Islam's treatment of others, and so on. And he took the video down after receiving threats and things like that. And I was a little bit disappointed, honestly. I messaged with him, and he said to me that he can't really tolerate the massive reactions that he gets to any criticism of Islam. And the thing is, he also said that this time it was different because people actually got in touch with somebody very close to him and started making personal threats against him. Mm-hmm. After which he decided, I can't do this. So he took it down. That's what they did. Talked about it for a while.
That's what they did with Venom Fang X back in the day when he made videos making fun of Muhammad, and they threatened him, and he kept making the videos. Eventually, they contacted his parents at their work and threatened his parents at their work. He was still a teenager. And so he took down his Islam stuff because they were actually threatening his parents and so on. So anyway, there are always efforts on the part of Islam to silence anyone who disagrees with what they want. And they have multiple ways of doing that. The most obvious way is just harassing people and threatening them. If that doesn't work, then they'll start contacting people who are close to you. Guys, I'm actually fine with Alex saying, "Hey, you know what? I don't want to. I don't want to deal with these guys. These guys might kill me." You might say, but we have to stand up." That's true. It doesn't have to be Alex. He's a pretty recognizable guy. He would be extremely recognizable in public. So even though people need to stand up against this, not everyone needs to do it if they're going to be especially in danger where they are. So anyway, keep in mind, back in the day, hijab was like saying where he lived and stuff like this. So that's credible. And he's an atheist or an agnostic. Now, I don't know. I know he's been shifting his level of aggression and hostility over the past couple of years. But at the end of the day, atheists, you believe that your life ends at death, so you probably don't want to be a martyr against Islam. Let the Christians will take care of that for you. Let the Christians take care of that for you. So all atheists.
I think I like Alex where he is and what he does right now. I think he's a very good, very, 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 very good interlocutor and a very good interviewer and thinker and all that. I think he's doing a fantastic job in seeking and discussing different ideas and so on. So I think he's doing a very good job, and not everyone has to be the enemy.
So AP and I are totally fine with Alex saying there are topics that I'm more interested in than Islam, and as an added bonus, it's safer to talk about those other topics. But not everyone is satisfied with Alex's position, and they raise two main criticisms. If I were to steelman the main criticisms of Alex's position, they would go something like this. First, entire cities in the UK are being taken over by Islam as we speak. If Alex thinks it's dangerous to criticize Islam now, imagine what it's going to be like a generation or two down the road. Is this the best time for Christians and atheists to be arguing about the existence of God? Or would this be a really good time for Christians and atheists to recognize that it doesn't matter who wins a debate about the existence of God if we're about to be violently subjugated and forced to comply with the ramblings of an illiterate 7th century Arabian caravan robber? Alex likes having discussions, but if Islam wins, he won't be allowed to have discussions on the topics he's interested in. Islam is a threat to everything Alex wants to do in life. As a rule, if someone is attacking the foundations of your civilization, the foundations of your rights and freedoms, you drop whatever else you're doing and deal with that threat. In other words, if this isn't exactly D-Day, it's pretty close to D-Day. So, anyone who doesn't take a stand against the threat is a traitor to his own civilization. That's my steelman of one of the criticisms. Here's the other. There are lots of people, comedians, for instance, who will criticize or mock Christianity or Mormonism or this or that political party, but they won't say a word about Islam because they don't want any attention from jihadis. So they only attack safe targets. Why is this a problem? Well, when you attack people who don't threaten you, but you don't say a word about people who threaten you, you're basically rewarding violent behavior. You're saying, in effect, if you want to control our speech, if you want to always get your way, just start threatening us and we'll do exactly what you want. And that not only rewards violent behavior, it encourages more violent behavior. So, when people try to control you with threats and intimidation, don't give them an inch. On the contrary, if people try to control you with violence, you should do the opposite of what they want in order to discourage threats and intimidation. Those are the two main objections to someone saying, I don't talk much about Islam because I'm more interested in other things and more knowledgeable about other things, and it's just safer to talk about other things. And generally speaking, there's some truth in these objections. There is a rapidly growing threat to Great Britain, and there are people who reward bad behavior by criticizing or mocking ideologies that won't respond violently while treating the world's most dangerous ideology with kids' gloves. However, You can't tell one young British agnostic that he has to shoulder the burden of saving a nation that's hell-bent on destroying itself. British politicians, police, journalists, educators, they're begging to be subjugated. In fact, they're much more hostile towards someone who's criticizing Islam than they are towards some dawah clown who's openly proclaiming that he wants capital punishment for apostasy.
This is a part of our religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah, there's a reason why there's a capital punishment, because people like you, little weaklings who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt, and we're proud of that. Yeah, capital punish will be applied in an Islamic state. Yeah, not individuals going and doing it themselves like idiots. Yeah, no, under an emir, it is done. Yes, and we, you know what, we'll be watching. We'll be watching, because if you're going to cause corruption in the land, that's going to cause more damage to the society as a whole, because the Sharia didn't come to protect an individual's right. Hey, can I drink alcohol? Yeah, sure. Drink alcohol, run someone over, kill them, set all this kind of chaos. No, Islam says the right of the community is greater than you individual wanting your right to freedom, which is BS.
Pop quiz. Imagine two people. Person one is a dawah guy who openly declares that he wants Islamic law in Great Britain and that he wants to watch mass public executions of apostates and critics of Islam. Person two is a random British factory worker who posts a message on Facebook saying that if the dawah guy wants Islamic law, he should go to Afghanistan. Which of these two individuals is more likely to be thrown in prison for expressing his views? We all know the answer, because that's how screwed up Great Britain has become. Why would anyone think that Alex O'Connor should martyr himself for people who will absolutely hate him and declare war on him for trying to save them? Great Britain's problem is much bigger than Islam. That problem isn't going to be fixed by some kid in his 20s painting a giant target on his back. Yes, we need to deal with the problem. And in an ideal world, people would be united in confronting sick, evil ideologies. But this isn't an ideal world, so we need to understand the situation and not be stupid. Here's what I would propose. If you're an atheist or an agnostic, and you live in an area where criticizing Islam could put you in danger, probably not a good idea to be a vocal critic of Islam. Of course, if you're aware of the risks and you want to go after Islam, I'm not your boss. But if you have other things that you want to accomplish in life, focus on those other things and let the rest of us expose Muhammad and the Quran. Now, for those of you who want to face the Islamic challenge and you live in a place where you can criticize Islam without seriously endangering yourself and those around you, you might want to dial things up a few notches. Learn some facts about Muhammad and expose him. Learn some facts about the Quran and expose it. By doing so, you'll not only be weakening Islam, you'll be protecting other people who are criticizing Islam. If a few people are making fun of Muhammad, it's easy to target them. If tons of people are making fun of Muhammad, threats and intimidation don't work as well. Let me give you a personal example of what I mean. After college, my friend Nabil Qureshi left Islam and converted to Christianity. What a great picture of him coming out of the water after his baptism. What you might not know is that about a month later, he got his first death threat. It was attached to his car. Over time, he received many more threats. And I had to think to myself, my best friend is in danger. And I'm partly responsible for the danger he's in, because I was the one telling him to leave Islam and follow Jesus. I played a role in his life, and even though he made the correct choice, he was always going to be in danger. Was there anything I could do about that? Yes, there was. I could make sure that I was always a more attractive target for jihadis than Nabil was. I could make sure that if some jihadi decided to impress Allah by slaughtering someone, he would think of me before he thought of Nabil. So I was pretty brutal when I went after Muhammad and the Quran. But I knew that as long as I was still walking around running my mouth, my friend was safe. And I knew I was succeeding because I ended up getting way more threats than Nabil. I still have that same basic mentality, although it's a bit trickier now because pretty much all of my friends are under some sort of death sentence from Islam, either for apostasy or for criticizing Islam or for both. So I try to make sure I'm the best target. AP is the one who makes it difficult. He does the same things I do, but he's also an apostate. And I've seen recently that some of these Sharia files are angrier at him than they are at me, which means I may need to escalate. And I will. It won't be in the way you think, but I'll point it out after I'm done, and you'll say, whoa, that was brilliant. So consider this basic principle. If you're in a relatively safe place and you expose Islam, you're helping people who aren't as safe as you are. If jihadis are focused on you because you're annoying them, that frees up some other people who aren't on the jihadi radar. Along those lines, I'd say that this principle applies more to Christians than it applies to atheists or agnostics. We have as our supreme moral example a man who laid down his life for others. I'm not saying that you should be stupid or that you should needlessly endanger yourself. But I am saying that if someone has to put himself in harm's way to protect someone else, it should be a Christian shielding someone like Alex and not Alex shielding a Christian. So, let that young man have his discussions and attack Christianity, while we do everything we can to make sure he's never attacked by jihadis.